Hi, everybody. Feeling all right? I am. Welcome to our Sunday gathering number 180. Wow. So, yes, 180 weeks ago, we came together. Kerry, Phil, Darren, and I keep our Sunday gathering going and growing. Each one of us has an opportunity each week. We take turns to pick the theme, pick the music, and miracles happen. So, if this is your first time here, or you've been with us since the beginning of our journey, or somewhere in between, we welcome you. This is special to me. This is the time of my week that just lifts me up, gives me energy, gives me a smile, so much joy, and we hope it does the same for you. So, Phil has created our theme for today. So, I'm going to turn it over to Phil. He picked all the music and everything. So, Phil, take it away.
Thank you, Sandra, for that wonderful, warm welcome. And hello to you all that are joining us. It's an absolute pleasure for all four of us to be here with you and share this Sunday, as usual, with you. And as as Sandra said, it's our number 180. It's almost where I want to go into that dart game, but it's 180 when we throw in the bullseye sort of thing, okay? So today, our theme is hope, faith, and belief. We all need a little bit of hope. We all need faith, and we definitely need a belief in something. But how it can change our lives is quite profound. So today, I hope you find that little bit of hope, that little bit of sunshine, that faith in what you believe in a spiritual sense that gains you some belief to put your best foot forward for the rest of the week ahead and the rest of time, hopefully, as well. So today, Darren will be doing our prayers. Sandra will be doing the healing and the reading. Kerry will be starting off the mediumship. And if there's time left, then I will join in too. And I'll be doing the words of the week. When it comes to the address, though, it's a little bit special because it's all four of us sharing our thoughts. Darren will be starting, then it will be Kerry, then myself, and then our lovely Sandra, because we always like to leave on that positive note with Sandra. She has that wonderful Mrs. Chocolate voice, doesn't she? So it's an absolute pleasure to listen to her as always. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Darren, but I hope you enjoyed today's service and the music, because I know it's been a big influence in my life. Certain songs you've heard already changed my thoughts, my avenues. So sit back, enjoy, and be part of this gathering. Now over to Darren.
Thank you for that, Phil, and thank you for that wonderful intro and a great topic, I suppose, faith, hope, and belief. And Sunday gathering 180. So rather than me waffle on, if you'd like to close your eyes and join me for today's opening prayer. To our dear friends, helpers, and loved ones of that world we call unseen, we unite here together in love, peace, and harmony as friends, brothers, and sisters. We unite with that same goal and purpose within our hearts and our minds, to bring the two worlds together once again under that banner of We Don't Die. As we unite here today, we cast aside our own wants, our own needs, and our own desires, and we come together for the greater good of all of mankind. And as we enter into this Sunday gathering, we do so with no demands or no expectations, but just an open heart and an open mind, allowing those words and thoughts to be shared through the minds of our workers here today and be echoed to all those ears that choose to listen, to bring us those moments of healing, joy, and upliftment. And as we enter this Sunday gathering today, we do so in the knowing and understanding that location, language, and background holds no barriers, boundaries, or prejudices within your world. And we can truly all come together as equals, as there truly is one universal language, and that is the language of love. As we all come together and immerse ourselves in that unconditional love and that healing balm, we can all take away from this Sunday gathering and allow us to feel uplifted and joyful. Each and every one of us deems it a joy and privilege to work with your world and work for your world. As we continue to walk hand in hand, side by side, each and every one of us strives to do the best to represent your world here today. And we do this with the utmost integrity and to the best of our ability and understanding. As we open this Sunday gathering, we do so in hope, faith, and belief, that we truly can unite the two worlds together again and allow ourselves to fall back into the arms of eternity once more. And in order to do this, we enter into this Sunday gathering with smiles upon our faces, positivity within our minds, and love in abundance, so it truly can create that perfect meeting ground in which the two worlds can come together as one. And we ask, as always, that that healing balm continues to shine to all four corners of our world, to bring that comfort and healing to all those hearts and minds that may be in need on this day. So without further ado, my friends, we welcome you here today. Amen.
Thank you so much, Darren. And if no one heard me earlier, tomorrow's Darren's birthday, so we're starting the party early. So you have me for the reading. This story is called In Full Bloom by Annie Mannix. She was outside looking at the flowers. I don't think I mentioned this earlier, but one of my hobbies is taking photos of flowers, she said, contemplating the last few rose blooms in my garden. Let me get my camera. Knock yourselves out, I shrugged, wondering why anybody would bother. I had not planted much this year, cutting back on nearly everything since losing my job. But if she wanted to take pictures, I couldn't stop her. It had been a difficult year for me. Just when I thought I was done with all my bitterness, it would all come rushing back. The last thing on my mind was flowers. But she aimed her lens at a rose. I hadn't seen her in nearly 20 years since college in New York. The world had changed, yet we seemed the same. We could still party like the old times as long as we were home by 11, wore comfortable shoes, and took a couple of aspirin before bed. And since we couldn't see our crow's feet without our reading glasses, essentially, we were the same people. Or close enough, I reasoned. I fiddled with the television remote. My laptop was on the coffee table next to a magazine I was reading. That was me, doing a dozen things at once, packing everything I could into each moment. I was busy with graduate school, an arduous job search, and being the stereotypical valiant, strong, single mother of two boys. She steadied herself near the last rose of the season, quiet and still, and taking photo after photo. Eventually, even the dog got bored with her endeavor and walked away. Suddenly, a song from Mary Poppins filled the air. I'm pretty sure it wasn't coming from inside my head. The day was progressively getting stranger. That's my cell phone, she remarked. I set the alarm on it to remind me to take my medicine, a spoonful of sugar. Get it? An alarm for medications? I laughed. Are we that old? I still refuse to write my grocery lists, insisting on carrying the list around in my head. I forget things many times, but so what? It was the principle of the thing. I would get old when I was good and ready, but not now. And anger kept me young, I figured. Those days were bittersweet, my fury harsh but healthy. Strange-looking pills, I remarked as she pulled them from her purse. They're for my liver, she said, and she took a drink of water. Well, actually, it's not my liver. I just borrowed it. One corner of her mouth curled upward with a smile. Every few hours, Anne took anti-rejection medication to keep her body from attacking her donated organ. 8 years earlier, she had been diagnosed with a rare liver disorder, one so rare that her doctor completely missed it. Somehow, though, she knew something was wrong, but she didn't know exactly what. It was a fluke, really, she said. What are the chances of meeting a liver specialist at a party? And he was cute. She had a slew of flukes in her life. After her liver transplant, she came down with thyroid cancer, discovered by chance during a checkup by a doctor touching the base of her throat. I told him he was examining the wrong side of me, she giggled. She could giggle at the darndest things. One day she felt dizzy. With her track record, her doctor sent her in for an MRI, which revealed a small tumor in her brain. It's no bigger than a fingernail, and it hasn't grown at all, so that's a very good sign. After all, size is everything, she said. That was Anne, ever hopeful, giggling, and fluky. Even a brain tumor was not beyond joking about. I envied her attitude, but certainly not her situation. She'd be going home soon, and I knew I'm just fine alone. It was great to have her here, share old times, but I'm more comfortable on my own. I don't need anybody. With a hug, she was off. I grabbed a beer from the fridge. Later that day, an email popped up from her, taking forever to load, especially to an impatient, moody grouch like me. Sheesh, I huffed. I have things to do. It was filled with her flower photos, still, clear, and beautiful. She had taken a few blooms and made them glow, made them perfect, made them timeless. Just a few raggedy old flowers. Darn, I thought. She had gotten past the anger and past the pity. She was on the other side, capturing giggles and picking flowers, making incredible, everlasting bouquets, while I grumbled and whined. That too wasn't fair. I wanted to be able to do that. Here I was trying to cram all sorts of events into my life so it would count for something, as she blithely took one moment at a time, polished it until it shined, and shared it with everyone. She made it look easy. Compared to many things in her life, I guess it was. Quietly, she was able to stop the world from turning, keep it still for a moment, insisting that it would take time to look at a single lowly daisy. Even more extraordinary, the world would do it too. Wow, I wrote back, these pictures are incredible. Lame, I know, but for once I was beyond words. Annie, she replied, knowing well what I was thinking. We don't know what tomorrow will be. We don't know if we'll even have a tomorrow. So I choose to focus on today. That's why I take pictures. That's why I came to visit you. That's why I'm here. I shifted my gaze to outside. I got it now. I was stubborn and thick-headed, but I finally got it. And I thought I was the strong one. She'll be back to visit again. I'm sure of it. Until then, I have her flowers in full bloom. Actually, I always had them, but it was Anne who got me to really see them. That's the end of the story. And here's a really nice quote from Alphonse Carr. Some people are always grumbling because roses have thorns. I am thankful that thorns have roses. So with that, we are going into our healing now. And Phil has picked a beautiful song, Lean on Me. My friends, we all have support. Yes, support in this world, people that love us, people that care, doctors and such. But we also have so much support in the unseen world. As we go into our healing song today, I just ask for each one of us to take that moment, say a prayer for ourselves, and it doesn't even have to be in words, just that genuine intent. Take from me. I'm here to serve. Let my energy be used to help somewhere, some people, some things, whatever needs healing. And if you have those special loved ones or people in your life that need some healing, just imagine maybe a beautiful rainbow as they transform into perfect, whole, and well. Picture them happy, picture them complete, picture them healthy. We don't need to know how it works. I say we just need that general, genuine interest in love and intent. So let me play our healing song, and then we will be back with Darren to start off the address.
Thank you for that, Sandra, that wonderful reading and that lovely song for the healing. How wonderful was that? Hope, faith, and belief. In my view, they're three very powerful words. But when you put them together as one, hope, faith, and belief, wow, what a powerful statement. But when we look at ourselves and truly look at ourselves, do we have all that three? Can we say that we strongly have the hope, faith, and belief in ourselves? If you go back to when you was a little kid, I know I can, when you was young, you wanted to be a superhero, you wanted to rule the world, you wanted to be a superstar, a footballer, whatever it may be. When you was young, you had that hope, faith, and belief. There was no question of it. You know, you was 100% behind it and invested in yourselves, and nobody could change your mind in it, no matter what they said. As you grow up and evolve into adulthood, you still have goals and ambitions and dreams, but it's changed from being ruling the world, being a superhero, being a footballer, whatever it may be. It's evolved because we've learned a bit more about the world. We've become a bit more realistic. So we've adapted, you know, we've adapted what our goals are going to be according to the world. And according to reality a little bit as well. You know, if I was going to be a superhero, if I'm saying at the age of what I am now, I'm going to be a superhero still, you'll all be giving me funny looks. But we do, when we go into adulthood, we have more dreams, goals, ambitions. It may be to own a house, have a wonderful job, have kids, have, you know, whatever it may be. And I think we still have that hope, faith, and belief. But I feel in ourselves, as we get older and older, it doesn't become hope, faith, and belief. You might have a bit of hope, not much faith. You might have a bit of belief, not much faith, or vice versa. It doesn't matter. But do you find as you get older, you seem to lose one of those? You cannot wholeheartedly say, I've got hope, faith, and belief in myself to achieve whatever it may be, or to do what I want to do. Because I certainly don't. And you think, what's changed? What's happened? And I think it's we allow the world to get to us. We allow people to get to us. We allow things to affect our lives. If you look when you was young, you had all the time in the world. You used to go out to play and see your friends and do this and do that. And I don't know, you guys are probably the same as me. If you think now, I hardly have time to pick up the phone and speak to somebody. I don't have time to go out for dinners. I don't have time to do this, do that. Why? Life seems to be taking over. Work takes over. And I think sometimes we need to take that step back and look upon ourselves and think, hang on, what's going on? Why is this allowed to happen? Why is everything overtaking my life? I need to take control back of my life. And I think it's the same with hope, faith, and belief. We have all these goals and dreams and what have you, but for various different reasons, we're swayed away from them, or we put them on the back burner. We don't think it's important. We want to help somebody else or do something else. And like I said, when we're going from a child to adulthood, we've adapted our goals, our ambitions, if you like, because reality's here. You know, yeah, we can't be a superhero, we can't rule the world, we can't be a millionaire, whatever it may be. You become more realistic with your goals. But I think going from young adulthood to older adulthood, it's more the negativity. And I hate using the word negativity, but I think negativity creeps in some way, shape, or form. Whether it's doubting ourselves, whether it's other people influencing us, you can't do this, you can't do that, that's not possible, or whatever it may be. But I'm a strong believer, yeah, you can achieve the goals you set out to achieve. If you look at the world around us, we have cars, we have planes, we have telephones, we have lights, we have electric, you name it, we have it. Well, we didn't have that years ago. Where did it come from? People have invented these things. They've invented the car, the aeroplane, the telephone, the light bulb, whatever you want to call it. But whatever you look at in the world around us today, it's been invented. And you've got to look back who invented it. Yeah, you can start going through all the names of the different people. I don't know all the names, sadly. But you can start looking back. Oh, John done that, Henry done that, Sue done that, whoever it may be. How did they do it? They had a goal. They had an ambition. And again, if you look back at some of the stories, and I know Sandra's mentioned Edison, the light bulb man. You know, it's not an easy journey. When you've got a goal or an ambition, it's never going to be easy. It's like life. Life is never easy. You know, there's always going to be obstacles within our way. And it's not meant to be easy. Can you imagine if life was easy? It would be boring. But do you know what? We get through life. We tackle these barriers, we tackle these problems, and we keep motoring on. But we don't apply that same principle to our goals, our ambitions, do we? We allow things to knock it to one side, push it to one side. And if you think of all these great people that invented all these things we use in the world today, they were people just like you and me. They had a goal, they had a dream, and do you know what? They achieved it. And yes, it wouldn't have been easy by no means. They probably got knocked back. They probably had negativity galore against them. But you know what? They still achieved that goal or that ambition they set out to achieve. And I think we can learn something from that. You know, if you look at these people, you know, some of them, you know, we all have different starts in lives. I get that and I understand that. But what is truly, truly stopping us delivering our goals or our ambitions? And yeah, you could say work. You know, if you look at the past few years, work's got busy, COVID happened. Well, do you know what? It's like going from a kid to young adulthood. We can adapt, we can change with the world. And I think that's what we need to learn to do more. And I'm speaking on behalf of myself here as well. I think we need to learn to maneuver the world more, I suppose. COVID happened, you know, we could have sat at home, done another, you know, moaned about it, been negative about it, whatever. But you know what? We didn't. What did we do as a human race? We looked at the positives from it. We helped each other. You know, look at this Sunday gathering. You know, we could have said, look, there's going to be no mediumship now because we can't get anywhere, we can't do anything. There's going to be no Sunday gatherings because the churches can't open. That's easy. That's the easy thing to do. But you know what? We all here had a goal. We had an ambition that we wanted to continue delivering a Sunday gathering in some shape or form. And here we are 180 weeks later. Has it been easy? No. You know, has it been obstacles? Yeah. But you know what? We've stuck at it and we've kept at it. And here we are today. And I'm just giving that as an example. You know, we could, and I'm the world's worst, we can give 101 reasons why we can't do something. But when you look within your life, within your work, no matter what it is, have you ever been put in a situation that you never wanted to be put in? And you got through it, you've done it, you achieved it, whatever it is. You know, it may have been in work. You may have had to take on a duty that you thought you'd never had to do, you're not trained to do. But you know what, when it comes down to that, you manage to step into that role, do that job, and you know, and get through it. And when you look back, you think, I didn't think I could ever do that. And I'm sure we've all been in those situations somewhere within our lives where you've been put in a situation you never wanted to be in, never felt comfortable in, but you know what? You got through it and you delivered and you've done it. So again, when we look at our goals, our ambitions, you know, whatever it may be, what is truly stopping us achieving those? Us. You know, we can think of 150, well, I can think of 150 excuses why I'm not doing this or not doing that. And it's way, way too easy. So I just want you guys to think of those three words: hope, faith, and belief. Like I said, individually, they're powerful words. But as a statement, hope, faith, and belief is 10 times more powerful. And I think we all need to look in the mirror a bit more. Let's look at our dreams. Let's look at our goals. Do we truly have the hope, faith, and belief in ourselves? Something to think about. I'm going to hand you over to Kerry and Phil.
Thanks very much, Darren. And when Phil talked about the theme today, hope, faith, and belief, as Darren said, they're powerful force together. They provide us with a sense of purpose, resilience, and optimism. That's what we have when we have hope, faith, and belief. And I know for the last however many years that I've worked for the spirit world, I've had all three. I've had them there, and it has brought me a sense of optimism. It's brought me a sense of resilience, and it certainly has brought me a sense of purpose. I wonder what's happened for you through the time that the Sunday gathering's been happening, 180 weeks. every single week, regardless of which day of the year it fell on, 180 Sunday gatherings. I know there's a young lady who'll probably never see this. Then again, she might. Her name is Ashley, and she came into the world 27 years ago tomorrow.
You mean she's not 21?
No, she's not. Tomorrow is her birthday, but in addition to that, tomorrow is the day she starts her vocation, which is also her occupation. All through COVID, through 2020, 21, 22, and now 2023, she studied to be a paramedic, going out in PPE, going out in the heat of the Scottish summer. I know that sounds like a contradiction in terms. Struggling at times, coming home in tears at times, but absolutely knowing she was on purpose. Having those conversations with me about why am I doing this, and me asking her, tell me what your why is. Tell me what your purpose is. Tell me what you're learning about yourself. What do you believe in? And she said, I believe I'm on this planet to make a difference to people. And I choose to make a difference by being that first point of contact, to do everything I can before I hand them over to the healthcare people in hospitals. And when we sat down and had a talk, probably just as she was graduating, I asked her, what has given you that energy and that purpose to carry on? Firstly, she said her mum, which I was deeply moved with. I know, hard to believe. But she also said it was the hope and the faith and the belief in herself and her purpose. The amount of time she wanted to give up, the amount of time she saw things that she thought she couldn't deal with again, but then did. The amount of time she thought the world can never overcome a virus, but we are. The amount of time she questioned what she was due to do. And here we are on her 27th birthday, her taking her first shift as a paramedic in the centre of Edinburgh. So I want to ask you, what have you learned through the 180 weeks that we've been online? The times that you thought were tough, the times that you thought you couldn't carry on, the times that you thought, what on earth am I supposed to be learning from this? It's only with hindsight we get that. That might give you that purpose, that resilience, and that insight into what your hope, faith, and belief is.
Thank you, Darren and Kerry. Hope, faith, and belief have a real impact upon our lives, don't they? They're not just words, they're something about our integrity, our inner sanctum, the very soul, your very being of who you are. Because as you sit and you listen to Darren, and you've sat and listened to Kerry, you'll have thoughts within your mind of what you want in life, what you want to achieve. You may be or been reminded of places and times that didn't work out, that weren't in your favour, or we felt the world was against us. But actually, from all those things that have happened, whether we say they're negative or unfortunate, we've learned lessons. And those lessons have given us hope, have given us faith, given us belief. This young lady at the side of me, Miss Kerry McLeod, has given me hope, has given me faith, and given me belief in so many ways. Not just as a partner, not just as a medium, not just as somebody that works alongside me, but a human being that is full of kindness, generosity, that has a heart of gold, that shares her being with everybody and listens to people. When they're talking, she never speaks, she just listens intently. And that has given me hope. That has given me faith and belief, as I've said. And when you really have hope, when you have faith, and when you have that belief, there is no adversity, there is no struggle, there is only conviction, intention to strive forward. Life may put things in front of you, but when you have that hope, you can go through them around them, over them, under them, because you have a belief in what you're doing. And it's not just Kerry that has done that, not just Sandra, not just the members of the community, but people that have come to the classes, people that have organised events for us, where we thought, oh, it'd be really wonderful. And we have a faith and a belief, but they give us that hope that it will happen. Such people as Nina Nelson, Shirley Ann Sharp, just to name a couple of people. David, when he comes on to the beginning of the Sunday gathering and speaks to us, just his voice gives us faith, gives us hope, gives us belief. To know that Carol got through that awful storm, that she's safe, gives us hope, gives us belief, gives us faith in something more powerful. When we have conviction, when we have integrity, and when we put our minds to things, we achieve, whether it's a goal, whether it's a dream, or whether it's just the next step in life. That positivity of mind can make a difference, how we achieve, how we strive, and how we be. Just having that different mindset of what we want to do creates change. Your thoughts right now will create tomorrow. And those thoughts tomorrow will create new thoughts into new hope, a new understanding of faith, and an even deeper belief. It is those characteristics we've all got. So, ladies and gentlemen, there is no adversity. There is no negativity. They're all growing pains, lessons of life that we grow from and become better people. Now, there's many people from around the world that have gone through awful things. When we think of the great wars that we had, people came together. People fought together. People said they would stand together. Even just now in the Ukraine, where people are going through those awful things, they are standing together. They are being together. Through that awful storm in Florida and the Americas, people are standing together. People are coming together because together we have faith, we have a hope, and we create belief in other people. So standing, putting your best foot forward, having conviction, believing in what you do can make a difference, because you never know who's watching. You never know who's listening. You never know what is about to happen. By having faith, ladies and gentlemen, you are creating a better world, not just for self, but all those around you, your children, your partner, your friends, those acquaintances that you meet. Even when out and you open a door for a stranger and smile, you do not know what faith, what hope and belief you give to people. This world can be a better place. And I'm going to leave you with those thoughts and hand over to the wonderful Miss Chocolate Voice, Sandra Champlain.
You are so sweet, Phil. Thank you. And to Darren and Kerry as well. I want to just tell you that I dream some stupid dreams at night. I do. I don't know if I live with a constant state of anxiety or not, but my dreams are always things aren't getting done in time. And as my former career in catering, it's usually people are showing up to eat and there's no food out. And they're just stupid. They're random. I can always say, okay, yes, I'm feeling fear. I'm feeling anxiety in my dreams. That's why it came about. I never have these big, beautiful dreams of my loved ones, nothing like that. But today I woke up with something different. I woke up, well, just before I woke up, the dream was so clear. I was just about to get into an accident that would end my life. There was that moment of fear, that moment that I opened my eyes and I wasn't gone, that I was still me, followed by a voice that showed up saying, you haven't died and you never will. Where would you like to be? You can create anything. And in that moment, I pictured the beach, Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, with the most incredible rainbow that I've ever seen. This was one of those dreams that you hear about, so real that I'm convinced it actually happened. So real, I'm convinced that someone somewhere said, Sandra, you know, there is a bigger picture. You know there is, but we want to give you a little taste of it. it's so hard to put into words because the feeling, and it was so real. And if you could have seen the magnificent ocean and the beautiful puffy clouds and the sand and this rainbow that I've never even seen in pictures, so real. That was just, I feel like a little gift to say, cut it out. Don't be anxious about things. Everything's going to work out. We've got you covered. There's a much bigger picture. And I was doing a little research on rainbows. And I want you to imagine right now that there's a rainbow in front of you, just about 3 feet. It's not too big, not too big at all, but it's right there in front of you. We all know what rainbows look like, right? We also know that there's this world in the invisible. So we've heard when we were kids that there's the color spectrum, and there's this electromagnetic field that's beyond our field of vision. So we've heard that, right? So if we take this rainbow, this 3 feet rainbow, and we put it on its side, you know, we could just probably step over it. Well, somebody wrote a book about the invisible universe and talked about the electromagnetic field past the rainbow, past what we can see with our visible eyes. We would have to walk at least a half an hour to get to the end of that spectrum. There is more in this world invisible than it is visible. And us human beings, and I think this is part of our DNA of being human, we've bought into this, that here is all there is. And I do think, and this empowers me, that we signed up for this game of life where most of it is hard, most of it is difficult, but we get to see what we're made of. We get to see miracles that we can create. We get to experience bonds with other people. We get to experience love. We get to try experiments like gratitude, and then good things start to happen. We get to delve into the world of healing, into life after death, and all these things. Like it's juicy. We get to learn. And as Phil was talking about, and Kerry and Darren, you know, it's only when we look back to think how far we've come. The design of human beings is we feel, you know, often we replay what's happened in the past, or we have anxiety or maybe excitement towards the future, but it's very difficult to live in the now. But I think the now is the connection to all of it, to that world of invisible. So for me, when we talk about hope, faith, and belief, it is to shake us up a little bit. It's like we're living in a snow globe, thinking that the snow globe is all there is. And meanwhile, outside of that snow globe, there is so much more. So shaking ourselves up and looking back, we have made it to where we are right now. No matter what's happening in the future or what's happening today, we will make it through. We will never die. I am 100% convinced we close our eyes, we open them again at this thing called death. Our loved ones are surrounding us. We can create the waterfalls and rainbows and beautiful beaches. Our loved ones, our pets are there. That's the reality. But while we're here, there is really something to explore. Know that you're not alone. Know if you're feeling crappy today, or if you're feeling anxiety or stress or worry or fear or grief, that is part of being human. It's awful, but it is part of it. But together, we can have that faith that we can get through anything. And how do I know this? Because we already have. We've got here right now. So sometimes, like Phil said, it takes looking back in the past to realize we can make it through anything. Our friend and entertainer, Jimmy Buffett, just passed the day before yesterday. And for those of you who don't know, this was a man who created a global empire singing feel-good holiday music of boats and margaritas and volcanoes and sunshine and palm trees, and all the songs just make me feel like I'm on vacation. Like I want to have one of those drinks with a little umbrella in it. I didn't realize until I saw a video of him speaking back in the 80s that before he got famous, he had hit rock bottom, and he really was pretty close to taking himself out of this life. And one of his songs became famous and got well known, and good things started to happen to him. And he wrote a song called Come Monday, It'll Be All Right. You know, come tomorrow, it will be all right. And without these songs, he would have never created such a following and such a powerful attitude. I think his songs have touched everyone, and the world would miss him if he would have never existed. So where you sit right now, although it may be uneasy and you don't know what tomorrow holds, have that faith that it'll be all right. You're not alone, that more of this world is invisible, but in it is so much juicy stuff. Our loved ones are there, magic, miracles are there, support. We do live in a miraculous world. I'm going to leave you with the title of one of his songs that I love so much. Changes in attitude, changes in latitude. Our belief can start from our words. Our words can create our world. Like if you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. So why not think we can? Why not see the glass as half full? Why not live life like that poor girl, Anne, who was taking the pictures of roses? That gave me so much inspiration, that so much had gone wrong, yet she was all filled with gratitude and positivity. We can't wait for those things to happen. We have to make them happen. You watch when it starts from you and you start engaging the people in your life, talking about positive things, playing positive music. All of a sudden, they become positive and happy, and then it's like a ricochet, it bounces back to you, but it all starts from number one. So if I could get a raised hand that it's going to start from me today, I will be positive. You don't have to do this, but if you want to, just acknowledge that it's not going to come from an outside source. It's going to come from within. We are here to help ignite that. But I know Kerry, Phil, Darren, and I, we all have our stuff too. So being here at home at the Sunday gathering gives us that hope, that faith, that belief, that knowing that everything's going to be all right. So thank you. So that is our address by the four of us. Thank you. We are going to move now into our demonstration of mediumship. And remember, I was telling you about this invisible world. It is invisible to our world, but it's not invisible to our heart. I've been lucky enough to take several classes with Kerry and Phil. And when you think it's just your imagination and you take the coaching and you pay attention to your feelings, all of a sudden, you know things about the person across from you, whether you're live or in a Zoom room, and you start tapping into your own soul power. We are souls having a human experience. We truly are. And it is very interesting to start exercising that and go, oh my gosh, wow. So with that, Kerry and Phil are our mediums today and teach all of our medium classes. They will work on Kerry first. And like Phil said, if there's time for Phil, there's always time for Phil. We don't make this a big portion, but it's enough so that everyone knows how close our loved ones are in the spirit world. So I know we've got some new friends here today and many people joining us. So I'll let you know a little bit how this goes. Kerry and Phil will have an opportunity to work with the spirit world. This is in the spirit world's hands. They've already probably figured out who's coming forth. There's only a few people in our congregation here today that will get a reading, but the spirit people are on behalf of their whole world, letting us know that they are around. So I find personally that the words that come through from maybe to another recipient, but they really do apply to my life, and I can take a little bit of that for myself. So while we may all wish and pray that our loved one comes through, know that your loved one is standing by your side right now, probably with a hand on your shoulder, probably a little kiss on the cheek. You might have a mom tucking the hair behind your ear. They're with you. Certainly, they live life in the spirit world. They continue to learn, they continue to grow, but they're only a thought away. So what we'll witness today is our mediums bringing forth a few bits of information in the beginning. The spirit people will plant thoughts in their feelings, maybe sounds, maybe pictures, and then they tell a little bit of the story. So you'll first hear a few initial bits of information about the spirit person who has contacted Kerry or Phil. They'll give you that information. We want you to be on the edge of your seat thinking, is this for me? Is this for me? We never need to see your picture. Don't worry about having your camera on. I know you don't have too many controls here on the Zoom webinar, but if, say, Kerry gives a few initial bits of information and you can understand every bit of that information, as that's my person, we want you to press your raise hand button. And this is a good place if you'd like to press your raise hand button. You can give your finger a little workout, see how it works on your side. We want you to be able to take 100% of the information. If no one raises their hand, we will, or Kerry or Phil will look inside and bring you some more information about this spirit person. Eventually, we'll end up with one person with their hand raised. I will press a magic button on my side. You'll get a little pop-up on your screen and a place where you can unmute yourself. We would like your voice. When you work with one of our mediums, let them do the work, as well as with any medium out in the world. Let them do the work. All we need from you is a good, strong yes, no, or I don't know to the information that they give you. They have broad shoulders. It's not as easy as picking up a phone call, talking to our loved ones. So if you need to say no, say no. No simply means new opportunity. So yes, no, or I don't know. We want everybody to feel the love from the spirit world, just how close they are. And again, these individuals that step forth from the spirit world are here on behalf of all of us to let us know that all of our loved ones live on, as will we. We do go on. We're happy, healthy, whole, and well. We will see our loved ones again. So that's pretty much how this goes. We like to play a piece of music. I find it's a wonderful opportunity to think of my loved ones and, maybe dancing with them, having a good time. Always a good, peppy, feel-good music. This is a song you probably know by Journey. And so just sit back, relax, think of the love from your loved ones. Maybe think of some shared memories together. Oh, put a smile on your face. Maybe they have a silly joke that they've shared, whatever that may be. This is time with our loved ones, and then we'll have our demonstration of mediumship. Here's our song. We won't stop, will we, Kerry?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I too love your background, Sandra. I want to know how to do that. It's so clear and crisp. You've got some secrets up your sleeve. It is lovely to be back. I know we've been traveling for 2 weeks, but it's lovely to be back and demonstrating online again. Demonstrating face-to-face is a different thing altogether. And demonstrating online again is different. No better, no worse, just different. So I know that I'm going to be sharing the mediumship with Phil, just so he's prepared. But I know as I become aware of the spirit world, I feel I have Dad here. And I get this great sense that Dad would have had an incredible liking for cars. But I don't mean old cars, but I know he would have done cars up and have sold them or have advertised them, because whoever's in my audience would know that Dad would have all different parts of cars over the front garden or the back garden or front or backyard. This makes sense to somebody in our audience.
Thank you, Kerry. All right, who understands this information? Go ahead and press your raise hand button. All right, Bonnie has her hand raised. And Bonnie, you should see your unmute button now. Hi, Bonnie.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Hi, Bonnie.
Hi.
Hello. So you understand everything I've said about your dad?
Except I don't think it's my dad, it's my daughter's dad.
Okay. Is your daughter with you, Bonnie?
She is.
Okay. And is she able to interact with you and I?
Well, actually, she's back there with her newborn right now.
Let's not go away from the newborn. So you'll be able to answer on behalf of your daughter then.
Yes.
Would this be your partner, Bonnie?
It was.
Okay, because I do feel like I want to reach out to child. So although you're going to be the intermediary, I do feel like I want to be speaking to your daughter.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you're, what's your daughter's name, Bonnie?
Olivia.
Okay, I feel like Olivia's dad would have had parts of cars all over the yard.
Yes.
And you know, when he would have had the parts of cars, there might have also been coming into the house at times as well.
Yes.
Because I feel like there would be newspaper and pieces of engine and little droplets of oil on this newspaper.
Yeah.
And I know as well with Olivia's dad that he would have had a sense of pride with him in that he didn't ever like to get things wrong.
Yes.
I get the sense with him that he would rather say nothing than have to apologize.
I don't know.
Okay, then Olivia's dad would have had times where he should have apologized to you, Bonnie, but he never.
Yes.
Because I know as I feel him talking to Olivia, and I feel his intention coming towards you. I feel the intention of him taking some responsibility, more responsibility than he let on at the time, for you and him not working out fully.
Yes.
I know too with him that he's not one to shoulder it all, but he is, if I could say that your ex would have gone into himself, Bonnie.
Yes.
And I know as he went into himself, I had the sense of him not speaking, not talking, and almost being secretive.
I don't know.
Okay, then he wouldn't have been able to voice his emotions then. He wouldn't have been able to interact with you.
Yes, back then.
Because I feel like he wants to give this apology of he wishes he had found the words to say that would have made things a little bit better.
Yes.
That would have made it quite so raw for you.
Yes.
I know with your ex, Bonnie, as he wants to relate to Olivia again, there must have been times where he let Olivia down.
Yes.
Because I know he carries that feeling of wishing he had stepped up to the mark and not got so self-engrossed.
Yes.
I know there's a big apology to Olivia, and I know that there are words that were not, your ex didn't say what he needed to say to her, and she really would have benefited from hearing that.
Yes.
I know that he wants to take responsibility for whatever didn't take place between him and Olivia. And I know he wants to shoulder.
Yes.
I'm trying to put words to what he's showing me and what he's allowed me to feel. I have the sense that he allowed things to go too long without speaking his truth and speaking up.
Yes.
Please know, Bonnie, that this is his way of acknowledging you and your daughter Olivia, but I feel there are other people in the family as well, Bonnie, that he is due an apology to.
Yes.
And I know this is his way of reaching out to you and Olivia and also her newborn and acknowledging. I know you've told me that newborn is there, but I know I feel this wanting to reconnect, wanting to send apologies and wanting to send his love as well. He wouldn't have said that openly when he was here, but I have that feeling that he wants to share with you and Olivia.
Yes.
Please, thank you for allowing me to do that. Please take his love and congratulations on the newborn into the family.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bonnie, and thank you, Kerry, and Dad as well.
Okay, I do feel I have, it feels like daughter, but I feel like daughter passes with a medical condition. I don't feel there's any accident in place, but I know that there's an illness that allows daughter to be taken into hospital. I feel like once in hospital, there are long periods of time that daughter is there. And I know there would be times where she would need blood transfusions. I'm not sure what the illness is, but I know that one of our parents is here and that you would know about this treatment of this blood transfusion and also crossing to the spirit world with feels like an illness, but I also feel a disease of some form in here. That makes sense to our audience members.
Thank you, Kerry. Kerry, we have two friends. Oh, well, I was going to say two friends in our audience. There's just one. Godi, are you there? Hello.
I'm here. Hello.
How do you pronounce your name? Is it Godi?
It's Godi, yes.
Godi. Okay. And then Fran has her hand raised as well. Kerry, we have two.
Okay. Godi, do you understand everything I've said about daughter?
Yes, but it's not my daughter, but it's my great-grandmother's daughter that had leukemia.
Don't say too much more, Godi.
Oh, okay.
Can I check with Fran, Sandra, if she understands everything I've said?
Yes. Hello, Fran.
Hi.
Welcome.
Hi, Fran. Do you understand everything I've said?
Yes.
And you understand this disease or illness that took your daughter to the spirit world?
Yes.
And you would have attended her hospital appointments and you would know where she had a blood transfusion?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to work with Fran, Godi. Thank you very much. I get the sense from your daughter that there is, she didn't want to be the center of attention.
Yes.
I get the sense that she was incredibly private and wanted to keep a lot of her treatment very private between her and her family.
Yes.
I know too that as you visited the hospital with her, you must have become quite familiar with the doctors and the nurses that were in that department.
Yes.
Because I feel like she wants to acknowledge how you went back after her passing to speak to the doctors and the nurses.
The nurses,
Okay, because I know she wants to acknowledge that she was there with you as you went back and spoke to the nurses. I also get the sense that she must have chosen a lot to do with her funeral before she passed, Fran.
I don't think so.
Okay, then you would know the music that you picked for her celebration of life or her funeral. You knew that she had listened to those recently and that those were some of her favorite songs.
No music was played.
Let me work with this for a second, Fran. Then would you have memories? Because I'm just going to separate those out for a moment. Fran, would you have memories of taking music into her and playing music for her during her treatments?
No, but I did sing to her one song.
I want to say that there is music playing here, Fran, and your daughter's giving me this impression of, let me check with you, Fran, subsequent to your daughter's passing, would you know where you've heard some music that you know is your daughter's type of music?
Yes.
But it didn't just come on the radio abstract, it actually surprised you when it came on.
Yes.
But I have this feeling of her acknowledging. I know you've told me that you sang to her, but I don't feel that's what she's meaning here. I get the sense that she wants to acknowledge her influencing the music that was played so that you would hear it. I also need to acknowledge during that celebration of life, you must have spoken to your daughter during that service.
Yes.
Because I need to acknowledge that you told her that you loved her. I
Yes.
need to also acknowledge you being with her during those final moments. And I need to also acknowledge, she gives me this impression of family flying in for that celebration of life.
Before she passed,
Okay. And they would have been there for that celebration of life or the funeral as well.
Yes.
Because there's this whole sense of everybody coming together and being there for her. And I know that you did everything that you could, according to your daughter, to keep things private and within the family.
Yes.
I know that was incredibly important for you, and I know she wants to acknowledge and thank you for doing that. I know there were certain friends invited, but I also know that you would have stepped in to stop huge amounts of people coming to that service.
Well, they couldn't because it was COVID.
Okay, because I get the sense that there was, and if it's due to COVID times, I understand that, but I know there were restrictions during that time. But I know that she was with you, Fran, and I know that she absolutely, when you spoke to her, she was with you. You've been questioning whether she was there or not. She absolutely was with you.
Thank you.
I also want to say that you must have gone fairly recently and put flowers on your daughter's grave.
No.
Then you would know of somebody that has then and sent you photographs or information about that.
Yes, yesterday was her anniversary.
Okay, because I know she gives me this impression of somebody putting flowers onto her grave and remembering her. But you've done your own acknowledgement of not just her passing, but the blessings of her being in your life.
Yes, that's true.
And this is her acknowledging just how much you honor her by being present and by being inspired to live and go on and inspire others. She knows that you talk to others about her, and she knows that her words, her life, and her name live on, because I know that you talk to the family about that, about her.
Yes, that's so true.
I'm going to say thank you for allowing me to do that, Fran.
Thank you so much. I
You're
appreciate it.
welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Fran. Thank you, Kerry.
Okay. I do get the sense of sister. It feels like it would be sister. And I get this impression that her sibling here would have memories of going on holiday in Europe with her, because I get this memory of her being with you and of her, I actually want to say into Italy, where there would be photographs and memories and such like about being in that space with her. And you must have been looking at photographs fairly recently as well of this.
Thank you very much, Kerry. Who can understand this information? I know we had one hand go up, and then you said Italy, and the hand went down. Okay, Sherry has her hand raised. Sherry, if you could press your unmute button. Hi, Sherry.
There. Hello.
You understand everything I've said?
So far, yes.
You understand everything?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
With the exception of not looking at pictures recently, but thinking of
Okay.
a trip recently.
And as you were thinking about the trip, Shari, you would be remembering where you took photographs and the places that you visited.
Yes.
Because as you visited them, I know that your sister comes in with this memory too of where you were, how you were, and those iconic places that would be in those photographs. Shari, your sister would have been quite quiet in herself, because I know that she, you and her would have enjoyed those quiet times together.
Yes.
And I get the sense that you and her, when you were growing up, as all sisters do, would have had an understanding of one another, almost like twins. I'm not saying you are, but it feels like you had a very, very close understanding of one another.
I'm not sure.
Okay. Then, Shari, your sister must have spoken to you on a personal basis about some things within her life.
Yes.
Because I know that there's very personal conversations took place and quite a lot of information shared with you.
Yes.
I know too with your sister that there was an element of her wanting to acknowledge how you were for her and what you did for her as well.
I'm not sure.
Okay. Then if it's not that way, Shai, would you understand it the other way around, where you acknowledged what she did for you?
I'm not sure on that.
Okay. I feel like there's a real closeness here, of sharing words of. Then this holiday to Italy, Shari, during that holiday, there must have been very personal conversations took place.
Possibly.
Right. Give me 2 seconds, Shari. Can I just check in, Sandra? Is there anybody else?
Diana has her hand raised. Hi, Diana.
Hi.
Hi, Diana. How
Hi,
much
Kerry.
of this do you understand? Do you understand sister in the spirit world?
Yes, the only thing I don't is specifically the country of Italy,
Okay.
although we were in Europe together.
You were in Europe. Would you have gone to countries that had the Alps in them?
No.
So that would be Switzerland, France.
No.
If one more with her hand raised, Kerry.
Okay, Sandra.
Okay, thanks everybody for hanging in there. Doris, hello.
Hello,
Hi, Doris. Do you understand everything I've said?
I do.
Okay, you understand you and your sister taking a holiday to Italy together.
Correct.
And you understand you and her having very close and personal conversations.
Yes, the last one. Yes, we did.
Okay, and you understand that you and your sister must have been very close.
Yes.
Because I feel like you shared. Thank you, Sandra. I'm going to work with Doris. I feel like there would have been a sense with you and her, not that you were twins, but there was this really close connection between the two of you.
Correct.
And you would know your sister was quite quiet and not one to make a big fuss.
No, I'm not sure about that one.
Okay, then if that's not the case, Doris, then I know your sister must have shared during those private conversations, she must have been quite serious and personal with them, because I know she gives me this feeling of being very respectful and very quiet about it.
I can take that, yes.
Okay, because I know with your sister, and you understand the name Margaret in the spirit world, or the equivalent in your language.
Can't think of it right now.
Then where you visited, Doris, would be St. Margaret's Chapel, or St. There would be a chapel or a place in Italy that would be St. Margaret.
I don't remember.
Okay, because I know that shows up very, very clearly here. I know with your sister as well, there's an incredible sense of her wanting to acknowledge this Italy holiday, like there were memories made there and that you would have looked at the photographs very recently.
I didn't look at the photographs, but I was thinking of them.
Okay, but
And
you would have
Jay,
again pictured where those photographs were taken.
Correct.
And I get this feeling with her that there is, it wouldn't have been too long after that, Doris, that your sister, you would know that your sister and you didn't speak for a period of time after that Italy holiday.
Correct.
And then your sister would have passed.
About it, yes.
Because I have this feeling of, I'm sorry for not getting in touch. I'm sorry for not reaching out and following up on what we said we would do. I feel like there is this acknowledgement from your sister of those were the good times. And there must have been thoughts within you, Doris, of making plans, holiday plans moving forward.
Correct.
Because it's her way of saying, I see what you're doing. I see what you're planning. I hear what you're talking about. I'm close to you. I'm going to leave your sister's love with you, Doris. Sorry it took so long to get to you, but thank you for allowing me to do that.
And thank you for bringing her through.
Thanks, Doris.
Thank you, Doris. Thank you, Kerry.
Sing it to myself. I was just listening and engrossed in the context. No, it's wonderful. Even though we work together such a lot, it's wonderful to hear contacts that you can follow and you can feel the presence of the spirit world, but also that emotion of love as well, and how those contacts open up other memories for people as well. So thank you very much, Kerry. It's lovely to watch that, and nice to see people sticking with their evidence and working through it as they should. So okay, so as I become aware of the spirit world, I know I have Mother with me, and as I work with Mother, I know there seems to be a disease with her that goes on for a while. I do believe that's cancer as well, and I know it seems to spread from, I want to say chest, and being polite there, through to stomach. But I also feel with Mum, she was a very resilient lady, and I know she wouldn't show how ill and bad she was feeling. So I know she had that strength of mind, but I also know she loved to have the family around her, but how she wouldn't like to have pity. But I also want to go a little bit further, because I get the sense with Mum as well. For Mum, the greatest healing was having the family around her, not just through this time, but through all of life, how she could depend on that family to come together at birthdays and anniversaries as well. So somebody would understand that information of Mum in the spirit world, that long cancer condition, how she didn't like to receive help and the pity. But I know it's about that resilience and how families should stick together.
Thank you very much, Phil. Who understands this information? Press your raise hand button, please. All right. Fran has her hand raised.
Mm-hmm.
Hi again, Fran.
Hi.
Hello, Fran. Has Kerry just done this contact?
I'm sorry.
Sorry,
it was not Fran's mother.
It wasn't Fran's mother. That's fine. Okay. So do you understand everything I've said, Fran?
Yes.
Okay. And do you understand where your mum was a very strong and resilient lady?
Yes.
And I just want to go into, it's almost where I don't want to show weakness and I don't want people's sympathy.
Yes.
And I also get the impression, Fran, if you did, it was shut down immediately or pushed away.
I think so.
Because I get that impression with her as well. But I want to go back to family get-togethers, because it feels like Mum used to love those times where she could share times talking about everyday things and memories of the past.
Yes.
And I also believe as well with your mum, she used to love to go through memorabilia such as photographs and things with family members.
I'm not sure.
You're not sure? Then let me just check this for a second. Where I talk about those photographs, would I be right in saying you've got some of mum's?
Yes.
Because I know here, she just as you said no, I got the impression from mum, you've got my photographs. And I know some of those photographs will be the old black and white ones as well.
Yes.
And I also know that those black and white photographs are all in different sizes. So there should be some really small size photographs there.
Yes.
That's fine. And would I be right in saying that you have a small one of your mother? Almost when she's a child.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Okay, because I know here, and I just want to check something with you. Before mum passed, would you understand where either her mind was questioned about how straight it was thinking?
I don't know.
Because it just gets the impression where there's a little bit of confusion at the end, but I feel this was due to medication.
Okay.
Because I know, as you said, no, I'm not sure. Do you understand with mum that she could be quite single-minded, quite strong?
Yes.
Because I know each time you said no, she won't change it. So I know those photographs are there. And I know this is how mum, and it's almost like with your mum, she could be a bit of a force to be reckoned with. Once you got a mind, yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Because again, I've just got that impression with her as well. Because I also feel that mum would play on this and she could be a bit comical with it, or she knew exactly what she was doing.
Yes.
Yes, because again, there's a sense of fun with me now where I want to tease people and make people feel uncomfortable. But this would have been one of your mother's traits, and she would have shared this as well.
A bit,
Because again, it's just that pleasurable moment where I can tease. It's almost like I can be a little bit, I don't want to say uncouth, but I can be a little bit disciplined, and I know people seem to open up to me and tell me as well. So it's almost like a way of getting the truth out of people.
Okay.
Because I get that sense with her. But I also know here you should have fond memories of mum laughing and enjoying herself at these family get-togethers.
Yes.
Because it just feels where you used to sit and watch and look at mum, where she was almost wiping the tears from her eyes with laughter.
Sometimes,
Because I know here this is why mum wants to come forward to say, even through the hard times, there was good times. And it's all about that hope, that faith, that belief that she wants to leave you with. But how you've been reflecting quite recently, Fran, about the old times and family get-togethers.
I have,
I know you have, because I know mum just reminds me of this and makes me aware of this. And it's her way of saying, I am with you so much and I love you too. Because I know as I spoke to you, I've been speaking, that sense of coming back, I love you too, comes from her. So I know it's about mum's love and affection. Mum wasn't a lady that did things publicly. She'd do things in private, show her love.
Yes.
And I know that's one of the reasons why she says, with those thoughts, how I'm with you, because in private times where you felt emotional, she's been with you as well. I'm going to leave her love with you, Fran, and saying thank you for allowing me to do that.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
It's been an absolute pleasure. So, ladies and gentlemen, I know we're at that time, so I'm going to hand back over to Miss Sandra Champlain.
Thank you very much, Phil and Kerry. We all want our loved ones to come through. I know we do. They come through in such subtle ways often, and they're with us. They truly are. We thank you. We're not done yet, but I know what it's like to come to something every week, and we really do thank you for giving us your time and being here, part of the Sunday gathering. We people need people. Left to our own devices and in our own head, it's a very difficult place to be. It is, but stick with us, okay? Stick with us. And speaking of which, next week we've got something fun. I'm joined with our community members, Craig and Tim, and we have Sunday gathering at the IMAX. So it's going to be movie themed. Bring the popcorn. We've got some fun things planned. And of course, that demonstration of mediumship. So coming up this week, we got lots of good things. First of all, Kerry and Phil are back. in their home, and our new classes with them start this week. They're each 6 sessions. You can do them live or you can do them by the replay. On Tuesday, they have Embracing the Healing Power, all about spiritual healing. It's the whole world of it. They're going to have some guests as well. It is a very real thing, healing, whether it's distant healing, hands-on healing, sending love. It's a great place to be. There will not be breakout rooms as such as we're used to. There may be some paired sharing and things like that, but it is definitely a course for you. Also, Wednesday is number 1 of medium level 1. If you're somebody who wants to get involved, you don't need to be a medium professionally, but just to get that practice of how your soul communicates. You get to learn how your psychic sense works. You do work it in breakout rooms, and you will probably shock yourself at things that you know about other people and their loved ones. It is a journey. Our classes are all part of what we call like an online circle, that it doesn't matter where you jump in, you can be part of it and continue. Every series of classes, Kerry and Phil teach different things, all related to mediumship. Once you really practice working that psychic muscle, on Thursdays, we have medium level 2, which is completely all spirit world, working with those in spirit. And you learn how to bring through those messages and feel the love from your partner's loved ones. Pretty special. I find that it takes a lot to convince me of the afterlife, right? I've now been on this journey 25 years. I have 550 plus podcast episodes, so I believe. But anytime I'm in a class and have that experience for myself, that I know something that I shouldn't know, or I'm feeling love for someone, or a memory of traveling in the Alps, which I haven't been to the Alps, those kind of things really let me know that it's real. So those are our new classes, starting with Kerry and Phil. And again, everything's recorded. You could join live or you could join with the replay. Scott's class, as Trance in the Altered States, has already begun, but it's not too late to join. He's traveling much of September, so we're recording the classes this week. And then on Mondays, I will be playing the replays. That's a class where it is just no breakout rooms. It's really learning how to quiet your mind and blending with the love from the unseen world. Also on Tuesdays, a very special Sitting for the Power Hours with Scott. Also coming up on Friday with Scott is what's called In the Arms of Eternity, where we first sit for healing, followed by a demonstration of trance mediumship. I've got a couple new interviews that just aired. One is with Pam Johnson, who's part of our community. She's got a book called Supernatural Love, and it's how she continues that loving relationship with her husband through beyond the veil. And then I also just interviewed Dr. Raymond Moody, who coined the phrase near-death experience, and his co-writer, Paul Perry, who's written a number of afterlife books. They've got a brand new book that's coming out in about 10 days' time. You can pre-order it, though. It's called Proof of Life After Life, 7 Reasons to Believe There Is an Afterlife. And they told me some reasons that I didn't even know. So that was surprising and wonderful. You can find everything we have going on at the website, wedon'tdie.com. You can sign up for next week's Sunday gathering. You can look at the store page. You can go to the radio show page, see all my podcast episodes, and so much more. There's satisfaction guaranteed, so you can't go wrong. That's it for the announcements. One more shout out for thank you to those of you who have donated to make our Sunday gathering possible. We thank you. And then happy birthday, Darren. Happy birthday. I'd like to pass it over to Phil for some words for the week.
Thank you, Sandra, and thank you for everyone that has joined us this week, and for all those people we've met just recently in Canada that have joined us as well, and how they're joining some of the classes. And it's nice additions to the family. That big community feel is really important to all of us here. So faith, hope, and belief, they are powerful forces that have the potential to profoundly change our lives. They provide us with a sense of purpose, resilience, and optimism. When we walk forward in life, they motivate us. They help us see change within our life. And when in face of that what's the word I'm looking for, adversity, sometimes we don't see it as an adversity. Sometimes we see it as just something that happens to come up. It's that positive way of thinking about everything that we do that makes a difference, not just for self, but for others. But having that purpose, having those possibilities and making new choices can be quite nervous at times and can bring up self-limiting beliefs. But once we start to understand that it is just change we're going through, we start to gain a deeper belief in self. And not just in self, but all those people around us. I named a few earlier that have made a difference within our life, and I could read the whole community list out that is here in front of us. For the moments you come on and share your time with us when we're doing the contacts, or in the beginning of the Sunday gathering when you come on to say hello. It's a faith that we have in believing what we're doing is right. And it gives us all hope with one another to build a better world, not just for ourselves, but for the whole community, our friends, our family, and everybody that we come in contact with. But when we pursue our dreams, when we pursue that reality, and when we step forward, and sometimes those dreams can be, well, how can I put this? People can get in the way. They may think or not agree with you or say, well, that's different. Well, remember those words. First of all, they might not agree with you. Second, they might call out about you. And thirdly, is when you know you've won, is when they start to emulate and copy those things that you're doing. So know that you're making a difference. Know that your faith, hope, and belief is not just making a difference in your life, but in others. So the more that we stay true to our convictions, have integrity and belief in oneself, what a difference this world would be. And I know just recently, with a lot of the students and participants in courses and people we've met in person, to see those changes where there is hope, where there is faith in what they're doing, and then they start to shine and you can see that belief, is really warming to our hearts, to our minds, to our souls here, knowing that we're all making a difference. And maybe it's the slightest little difference that we think we're making in somebody else's life could be huge and profound. So remember those powerful forces of hope, faith, and belief. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Phil. And thank you to each and every one of you personally for all your birthday messages. I have read every single one, but sadly have not been able to apply to them all. So I wanted to do it now and thank each and every one of you from the bottom of my heart. It's really appreciated. I love wrinkles next week. So if you'd like all that to close your eyes and join me for the closing prayer. We'd like to thank our friends, brothers and sisters from within this world for uniting here together today and making these Sunday gatherings possible, as each and every one of you have played your part in uniting the two worlds together as one under that banner of We Don't Die. We'd like to express a sincere thanks and gratitude to all those friends, helpers and loved ones in that world we call unseen for being here with us week in and week out and making these Sunday gatherings possible and allowing your thoughts and your words to be echoed to all here today to bring us those moments of joy, healing and upliftment, and allowing us once again to fall back into the arms of eternity and immerse ourselves in that unconditional love and that healing balm, which allows us to leave this Sunday gathering here today in a much better and positive place than when we started. Each and every one of us finds it an absolute joy and privilege to work on behalf of your world and work with your world, walking hand in hand, side by side. And we want to thank you from the bottom of our heart for the opportunity to do so. As we leave this Sunday gathering here today, we leave full of hope, faith, and belief in ourselves that we can go forward and try to achieve all our dreams and endeavours. And we can do this going forward in our journey of life, knowing that you continually walk by our side, helping us, guiding us, and inspiring us to truly be the best individual that we can be. And we can continue to go forward in our truth and understanding that love and life are both eternal. And we ask, as always, that that healing light continues to shine to all four corners of this world, to bring those moments of happiness, joy, peace, and love to all those that may be in need at this moment in time. Until we meet again, my friends. Amen.
Thank you so much, Darren, and thank you everyone for being here. We're going to close with a Jimmy Buffett tune. We are. Alan Jackson sings the first part, and Jimmy Buffett comes in about halfway through. It's called "It's 5 O'Clock Somewhere." It's one of my favorite tunes. And Jimmy, you know, we're going to meet you in Margaritaville, and I know he's going to continue playing that guitar and inspiring from wherever, which side of the veil he's on. So I hope you enjoy this song. Love that song, love that man, love that music. Okay, everyone, we will see you next week, if not sooner. Remember, we don't die.com, all good things. Lots of love. Bye, everyone.